What's up guys, Tom Bad Guy here. Nintendo has been in the hearts of gamers ever since the 80s. For a lot of us, it defines our childhood. Whether you got the new games or pestered your parents enough to take you to the video store to rent them, it was the opening door for an industry that would soon make millions upon millions of dollars and solidify itself into our culture. What better place to talk about the NES than here at Questicle.net? But what were the best-selling NES and Famicom games? Well, that's easy. Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, and 3 are the best-selling NES games of all time, with the original selling over 40 million copies, which was helped with the fact that the game was included with the console. So with any Super Mario Bros. Paired with Duck Hunt would also make Duck Hunt one of the best-selling games as well. Of that 40 million, almost 30 million units were sold in the United States. 30 million carts were made. And let's take a look at that for a second. The average NES cart is 5 1/4 inches long. Multiply that by 30 million and you get 157,500,000. That's 13,125,000 feet, or about 2,486 miles of Super Mario Bros. Cartridges. If you line them up long ways, one right after another in a straight line, that's enough distance to go from New York City to Las Vegas, Nevada. And let's have fun and assume all 30 million weren't bundled with the Nintendo system. The NES games back then cost about probably $50. The estimated money spent would have been about $1.5 billion, and that's a lot of cheddar. So what about the other games? There's thousands of games made for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Some were considered really bad, and some are coveted as gamers' most favorite games of all time. Let's take a look at the other 10 best-selling games for the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Famicom, and see what we got. Starting us off is baseball. One of the first Famicom and NES releases, baseball featured 6 playable teams and up to 2 players could play at the same time. In Japan, the 6 teams are represented as Japanese baseball teams, which was changed in the American version to represent 6 American teams: the Oakland Athletics, the St. Louis Cardinals, the LA Dodgers, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Kansas City Royals, and the New York Yankees. Next we have Kung Fu, or as it was known in arcades in Japan as Spartan X, based on a movie starring Jackie Chan. In American arcades, it was called Kung Fu Master and was ported to the NES in October of 1985. Dragon Quest III, or as known as America as Dragon Warrior 3, saw over 1 million copies sold in its first day in Japan, and nearly 300 arrests were made to Japanese students that skipped school to buy the game. The game only saw a North American and Japanese release, and with not that many copies sold in the United States, the game is kind of rare with eBay prices being around $50 for the cartridge alone. Next up is Golf, one of the original launch titles for the NES. You and another player, well, you play golf. Another original NES launch title, Excitebike, featured 3 game modes: a solo race, a race against the CPU, and a design mode that allowed the player to design a course and race solo or against the CPU. In Japan, players could even save their tracks to the Famicom data recorder, which used cassette tapes. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started as a comic created by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, published by Mirage Studios. The box art for the game features the Turtles as they were originally created, as all of them sport red bandanas instead of different color ones like in the TV show. Around this time, Nintendo of America limited third-party developers to only making 5 games per year. To get around this, the developer of Ninja Turtles, Konami, made a somewhat independent company called Ultra Games so they could publish more games every year in the United States, hence why Ultra is on the North American version of the game. The direct sequel to Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, saw the Green Tunic hero go from a top-down perspective to side-scrolling action. Zelda 2 was released in Europe before North America on September 26, 1988. The only other original Zelda games not remixed or ported to be released in Europe before North America are the Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance and Skyward Sword on the Wii. Now we have Dr. Mario. Now I know this is technically a Mario game, but it's not a Super Mario Bros. Game, so it counts. This is a 1 to 2 player puzzle game that features Mario attempting to eradicate viruses by matching stacking pills of the same color on top of them. The game was designed by Gunpei Yokoi, the creator of the Game Boy. Tetris is the shining light of puzzle games for video game consoles. Designed and programmed by Alexei Pajitnov, Tetris was the first video game to be received in America from Russia, or known at that time, the USSR. It was actually first brought to the MS-DOS and IBM PC in 1986, and was then brought onto the NES in November of 1989. It was also the best-selling game on the Game Boy. Finally, The Legend of Zelda. A hero named Link must collect all pieces of the Triforce to save Princess Zelda from the evil Ganon. Seriously, what is there about this game that nobody knows by now? And there you have it. Some great games, and not so great games. Fill at the top of the best-selling NES and Famicom games. I'm Tom Bad Guy, thanks for watching, and make sure you visit Questicle.net for all your retro gaming and NES desires.
So today we're going to be reviewing a program that was designed by a company called Learning Touch, and it's called First Words. What it is basically a way for children to learn how to spell and read. And when you go onto the apps program on the iPad or on the Mac or however you get there, you can type in autism or ADHD or anything like that, and some programs will come up. This was one of the programs that came up when I typed in autism, and having a child of my own that has autism, I thought it would be great to get and to try. And I'm going to show you a brief demonstration today, and this program actually comes very highly recommended, and I actually think it's very good also. So here we go. So the deluxe version comes with all of the different categories: the vehicles, the animals, at home, shapes, colors, and then you have all of those words that you can choose from. So you can do it by category. You can also click on options, and you can see that you can set the longest word. So you can go from 3 letters, 4 letters, 5, all the way up to 8. For this demonstration, we'll just click on 8. And go back to the program. So let's click on all words, and what happens is you obviously see in front of you a picture of something, and letters in the area above that are spelled out in the order that the letters should be. Now you can place any letter in to the grid in any order.
O.
As an example, obviously if you're teaching your child to spell, you'd want to do everything in order.
L. D. G. O. L. D. Gold.
Another option you have is if your child is having a little bit of difficulty locating the letter, he can touch on the letters in the box.
V.
It will say obviously the letter, and the letter will shake.
V.
Then he knows
V.
that is the letter to go in place. You can also click on the picture
Vase.
and it will tell you what the word is supposed to spell.
A. S. E. V. A. S. E. Vase.
I think it's a great program. My son that has autism, when he first started doing this, tended to just put the letters in any order that they came. For example, he would just go like this,
V.
and so on. And he's now slowly learning to do them in order, and he's starting to recognize the letters. So I actually think it's really good. Some other options, when you go into the options, is you can obviously have speech. You can turn on or off the letter hints. The word order, you can have it random or alphabetical, which is actually a really quite a good option when you go through that, because it does the alphabet also. And in general, I think it's a very good program. I certainly enjoyed doing it with my son, who's autistic, and I highly recommend it.